This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com. So if you're looking to pick up sealed product or individual cards, use the link in the description below, the code KENOBI at checkout to get 5% off your order. It's that time again. We're going to do an arena update video. The state of the client, the state of the changes they've made to improve the end user experience and the economy. Spoiler alert, it's still Towards the end of April, I did a very quick video explaining how it's the new set but same old MTG arena economy as Wizards released the $50 fucking mythic wild pack thing. The reason I was so negative about that in April was that if you look at the cost of the wild card pack, it makes your average standard deck be, well, some of them are $100, $200 for one standard deck on a digital client where the cards are trapped in the client and you cannot get out any money, nor trade them for other cards further down the line, nor dust them. You're literally just sinking money into a digital system. I think it's good that they introduced some way to buy wildcards directly. It was one of the fixes that myself and many other creators have suggested could be part of a wholesale revamp of the MTG economy, but ultimately it is part of a revamp. It is not a solution. It is a minor band-aid on a hole, and there's just diarrhea and shit falling out. And the point I want to labor here is that it shouldn't cost you $200 to make a digital-only version of a standard deck that you cannot redeem, sell out of, or trade out of, or dust out of. This means that a standard deck in current Magic Standard costs 4 times the price of a premium video game. Or for the cost of 1.5 versions of Mono White in Standard, you could have built yourself, or bought yourself, should I say, a Nintendo Switch. Magic is a premium costing hobby, and a lot of the reason or the rationale for why you can offset that premium price tag and the expensive onboarding of this game as you get into competitive gaming or even just blinging out your EDH decks for your F&M nights or your Commander nights is that you can get some money back out of it at the end of it. Even the old client Magic the Gathering Online, which is still around by the way, and I'm still playing Legacy on it on streams and such, you can buy and sell. You can sell your cards out for tickets, then sell your tickets to bots, and you can get your money back out of it. Basically, it's exactly the same as physical paper in that respect. The idea that you have to dump this amount of money in and get nothing back has always been a problem for me and always been a sticking point for me with digital card games, and it's sad to see Magic go down that route. So what's happened since April? Well, not a lot. New Capenna obviously came out. We had some tournaments on the client that had all sorts of fucking issues, but basically I'm not really following any competitive Magic that involves arena, if I'm honest, because I'm so fed up with the client. So I saw murmurings of it on Twitter, I saw people complaining about it, I saw people drawing games or losing games due to disconnects, and I just rolled my eyes and I face palmed and I was like, what the fuck is going on? The return of paper competitive Magic cannot come soon enough. But beyond that, we've now hit that point where we get the alchemized version of the previous set. So Switch New Capenna is here. We've now had the entirety of the Baldur's Gate Commander spoilers happen, and now we're going on to back to New Capenna to do the alchemy stuff. In some ways, I like a return to New Capenna because we get to explore some more thematic space within that set. I think that's a cool thing, but ultimately, alchemy still sits like a dirty, horrible taste in my mouth. The problem I still have with alchemy is that it affected everything. Like, Historic was a format that I was enjoying quite a bit, and they started to digitally alter my cards and nerf my cards without giving me wild cards back. That's right, I'm still unhappy about Luminarch Aspirant getting changed to be significantly worse and getting no recompense for that fact, because I can't fucking dust them, I can't fucking trade them, so give me some wild cards back, Wizards. I'm not going to go over the alchemy spoilers card by card, or even really look at them that closely, because I don't really plan to play with them much, because I'm so adverse to playing on Arena in its current situation. Back Alley Gardener, though, is a funny card name, because anything with back alley in it just sounds like a euphemism, because I've got the humor and the mind of a 12-year-old boy. The upside, though, is there's been some economical changes around alchemy. They've said that there's going to be more of a focus of putting these cards into the uncommon slot than the rare slot. Now, that might not sound like a huge change, but it's a reasonable change. What that means is that all these people like myself who've got hundreds and hundreds of uncommon wild cards can use those wild cards to craft the uncommon alchemy cards. One of the complaints that I've leveled up them previously is that a lot of these things are in the rare and mythic slot just to soak up all your wild cards again and get you to spend more money. I believe that was a conscious decision, perhaps not by the designers of the game itself, but from on high perhaps. It is a way of monetizing the game heavily. So to see that change is certainly something. They've also introduced some events where you can get these cards in a limited environment as well, with a percentage chance of having these drop in packs in like an alchemy draft or sealed event or something. Cool. These are changes that are for the positive, but again, similar to how the wildcard bundle is but a band-aid over a much larger problem, I don't think moving some of the alchemy cards to uncommon is a adequate solution. It just simply isn't enough. My argument is we need more of these things. We need them to be more willing to give us wildcard backs when they nerf stuff. We need a cheaper wildcard pack. I don't know. Even $20 seems expensive, but it'd be significantly better than 50. There's all that talk of, is this one of those things where Wizards make a blunder and then walk it back to get the goodwill of listening to the audience? And they didn't, right? Everyone thought $50 was too much, and they just carried on with it, because evidently it probably sold. Most of the decisions that they make will be based upon numbers and figures and direct feedback on how much they can milk the consumer. If the $50 wildcard bundle is selling, then that's the right price point, right? Regardless of what everyone else feels about it. And that brings me to my next point of that. The fact that they are changing the rarity distribution of alchemy suggests to me that something went wrong somewhere. Perhaps the alchemy play numbers are fucking low. What you've got to remember is that alchemy was not received completely negatively. There were quite a few tournament and competitive players that saw a constantly evolving or digitally errated or live serviced sort of standard as a positive thing. In recent years, Standard has had its fair share of problems and has taken bannings on new sets to spice it up, and that can take too long, as Wizards take time to react with the bans, or the sets are quite far apart in terms of week in, week out gameplay. If the format sucks, it sucks to have to wait for it to be improved. So Alchemy posited a potential solution to that. The problem was that it was spattered. I'm going over a point that I talked about in other videos, but it was like scattergun shot at the audience to the point that Brawl and Historic had to have alchemized cards as well. And then, of course, there was the monetization element as well, where Alchemy was just another mini rotation to make you spend your fucking wild card. It does seem that Alchemy has been poorly received. When you just Googling Alchemy, you get a lot of bad sounding articles from writers talking about this stuff. The videos that you can find on YouTube, there's very few people shouting about the positive sides of Alchemy. You might argue that negativity sells, or negativity gets the clicks, but I don't know if that's necessarily true, in the sense that, like, Pioneer didn't demand tons and tons of articles ribbing on it and videos ribbing on it. People make jokes about Pioneer. Myself and Brian have done it on Dice to Remove and had to apologise a little bit, because I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum. But Pioneer is kind of a proof that, like, new formats can come and bring excitement. Alchemy, on the other hand, was a perfect storm of fuck-ups that upset a lot of people. I do believe it's not being played as much as Wizards expected it to be. I believe that Alchemy will be a footnote in Magic's history. In 5 years' time, if me and Brian are still doing Dice to Removal, we will laugh and look back at Alchemy as in the annals of Magic's history, as a thing that happened and we didn't like and we laugh about now. Arena, I believe, will still exist, or the next version of it will, which is I fear that they shut it down and start again, which is, let's leave that for another video perhaps. But I think Alchemy will go the way of the dinosaur, because it didn't really solve the issues it set out to do, which was a stale standard. Instead, it did things stealthily, tried to do things like monetize the platform more heavily. They're pulling back on that now, but not enough of a way to create the goodwill to get someone like myself to come back. So at this point, that's it. That's where we're at. They've made some minor tweaks to the economy, and it has got better over the last 2 months, but not in any meaningful way that I believe makes Arena an approachable client. I still think Historic is too expensive to get into, especially with digital errata making your decks worse at random intervals as well. And that makes Historic not an interesting proposition for me. I already play some formats like Legacy and such that are just too expensive because of stupid fucking decisions from Wizards in the past, like the reserve list. I don't want a new one of those in the digital client that's meant to make the fucking game more accessible. So what do you think? Are you still down on Arena? A lot of people in the comment sections on my older videos talking about these sort of things said that they were cutting it dry, they were cutting it loose, they weren't going to play it anymore. But I wonder if any of you went back. Tell me in the comment section, honestly, if you stopped playing Arena and kept not playing Arena, or you stopped playing Arena but went back for your weekly or midweek evening fix of Magic because you couldn't get down to your game store. Let me know in the comment section below. I've been Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet. There'll be more videos throughout the week, plenty more Magic content and other hobby games too. Thanks for watching, smash that like button, and I'll see you all soon. Ta-ta for now.